Unsolicited advice.
What you whispering for? Yo, what's unsolicited advice? Take it or leave it.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but crash the fuck out. Yes, they got you fucked up. Just start tripping. Exercise your free will, nigga. Whatever you was thinking about doing today that you told yourself not to, fucking do it. Stop letting people play with you.
No, do not do what he said to do. Do not do it. No. Think about it. Always think about it. The last thing you want to do is lose everything. Can you imagine crashing out and doing something stupid? Then you get arrested. Now you're in lockup. Now you got to find somebody to get you out. You got to get some bail money. Most people don't have that money right on them. Then you got to go to court. You got to waste way more money. If you got kids, you may lose your kids depending on what you did. Depending on what you did, you might do more time. Like, a lot of times it's not worth it. But we need to look at the signs. We need to know why people crash out. Okay? So, of course, crash out means, when somebody snaps. They just snap on you and they lose all their senses. And they either get verbally violent or physically violent or both. Yeah, we're gonna get into it. But of course, you know me, I like to break things down. I like to talk about men, and then I like to talk about women. So we'll talk about men first. So when a man crashes out, it means that he's experienced like something intense, like an emotional breakdown. Often, being triggered by probably stress or frustration, overwhelming situation, somebody just poking the bear, poke. I always say that, I don't like being poked. But it usually leads to like disruptive behavior, anger outbursts, withdrawal, reckless actions. Essentially it's just a way of saying he loses control of his emotions and reacts in a way that is not like him. So I always say you got to be careful about saying that a man is being abusive and a man is abusive, or that just randomly now all of a sudden he's an abusive person. Sometimes a man gets pushed. I'm not saying it's right. It's never right, but you have to know when somebody's getting ready to just snap. Some of y'all just don't know how to shut the fuck up sometimes. You just got to say something. Now, when a woman crashes out, or, when they're upset, she's experiencing, an emotional, she's going to have an intense emotional response. It leads to like withdrawal or shutdown. Then sometimes it'll involve physical abuse. If they feel like they're not being heard, or, if it's not being reciprocated. So there's this need for solitude to process their feelings. They'll tell you, I'm fine. Or they just get real quiet. They won't tell you what's wrong. And I always say that's the worst, because some of them will wait 2 or 3 days and they just loading those bullets. And bullets is a metaphor, but they're just loading those bullets and to come back to you, and address you how they feel like addressing you. But a lot of times it can manifest in just being emotionally unavailable or disengaged. That's when they're about to crash out. But we're going to talk about some key points, some things that help with knowing when somebody's going to crash out. A lot of times people crash out because of an emotional overload. It's like they're at a point where they reach their limit and they can't cope with more emotional pressure. So like for a guy, if you're just nagging him and you're just constantly coming at him with stuff and he's just taking it, he's just trying to, he might be brushing you all like, man, all right, I hear you. Eventually they have that emotional overload because they're holding in. You have to understand, most men are programmed we're men, so we're naturally aggressive. There's testosterone in our body, so we spend every day holding back. You got to think about it. Men spend every day holding back. So you can imagine constantly poking a bear. Nag, all in his face, constantly complaining. Yeah. Same thing for a woman. You know, if you constantly have her on an emotional roller coaster, you know, she's going to reach that limit and she can't cope with the pressure that you're putting on her. Another way you can tell is sudden reactions to things, just random outbursts. So it's like a sudden release of pent up emotions. I mean, like they just been holding it in. So of course you're gonna give them that look like, why is you tripping? Like, calm down. But in their mind, it's like, no, I've been calm this whole time. You just don't know it. I've been holding it in. So I'm not saying that is right, but that's how some people process that stuff. You know, it's a sudden reaction. They don't give you a warning. They don't say, hey, I'm having a bad day. You know, I just need some time to myself. Or, hey, you know, can you please stop doing that? They don't, just boom. That's kind of like me. Like, I'll hold stuff in and then one day I'll just go off. You know, it's just one of those things. It'd be the littlest thing and I'll just snap because I'm tired. But another way you can tell somebody's about to crash out is potential destructive behavior. They just start just doing reckless stuff like yelling, you know, substance abuse, like too much smoking, too much drinking, isolating themselves, just weird aggression that you've never seen them show. That's when you need to say, okay, maybe I should give this person a break. I'll ask, you can ask like one time, hey, is everything okay? Do you need to tell me something, or is there something you want to talk about? They tell you just leave me alone, need time, leave them alone, give them time. Everybody should be allowed to give time to process. So I just spoke about this on my last podcast. Work stress. Work stress and everybody knows this. I don't care who you are. We go to work every day ready to snap. Somebody done pushed us to the edge our first day on the job. And we've been like that since 2 years in, ready to snap, waiting on somebody to do something stupid. So we're validated in crashing out. Some of y'all that work at factories, y'all see it every day. Somebody crashing out. You trying to calm them down, tell them it ain't worth it. You 2 days from getting your bonus, whatever. But yeah. Well, we could talk about one that's very relatable to everybody, but relationship conflicts. Relationship conflicts. During a heated argument, a man might storm out the room. A woman might storm out the room. They might and just shut down the communication. I'm notorious for that. The worst thing you can do is just go quiet or go ghost on a woman. Because, of course, they're going to be like, what's wrong with you? You ain't going to talk to me? In your mind's like, I don't want to talk. Because if I talk, then I'm either going to say something I'm going to regret, or we're going to get in another argument, and I just want things to die down. So, in a woman's mind, it's like, oh, no. You're going to talk to me. So then it ends up bad. Vice versa. If the woman storms out the room or they shut down, they shut down communication. Any woman knows, some guys get volatile because they look at it as, oh, you disrespecting me. You ain't gonna talk, I'm talking to you. You ain't gonna talk to me. So, and I'm not trying to trigger anybody, but it be like that sometimes. Yeah, it's like that sometimes. You just have to be careful. You have to be careful because if you're gonna be quiet, if you're not gonna talk, it'd be best if you probably leave. Or you make it known, hey, I think I'm just going to, I just need some time to myself today. I'm not in a good mood. We've been arguing. I don't want to argue. So I just want a little couple hours of silence. I'm going to go ahead and watch this movie. And, maybe we can talk later after we eat. Sometimes if you just put that little memorandum out there, that little statement, things can flow better. But we don't do that. Another thing that I have people crashing out is personal setbacks. Bad news about your health, just not being financially stable, not having the money to do what you need to do, breakups, just any type of personal setback can have people snapping for no reason. And and the weird thing is you always snap on the person that's always there for you or always around. It's that one that's always around that you take it out on. You never take it out on the people that you're mad at, but you always take it out on the person that's always around. Y'all know you don't mean to, but that's just something we got to stop doing. You know who you are. We ain't going to say it, but you know who you are. you know who you are. God, my eyes hurt. But, yeah, personal setbacks, you know. God, if you know, you know. When you ain't got that money, when you don't have that money on you, you get very irritated, very irritable. You know, health issues, when you're not feeling good and you hate not feeling good, irritable. You know, for women, of course, they have that time of the month. They have, you know, when the cycle comes on, that's a personal setback for some because it's very intense for them. For some, it's very intense and it occupies a lot of time. So, you know, it can make them snap at any moment. You know, when you go without certain things, it's a setback. It causes you to snap because in your mind, it's like, fuck no. You know, I don't deserve this. I need what I need. And I want what I want. But I said all that to say this. Everyone crashes out different. Everybody snaps, you know. It's nature. I'm not saying it's right, but for some people it can be very liberating or therapeutic to get it out of the system. My advice for that is find a hobby or find something like boxing where you can get all that, you know, or working out, you know, somewhere where you can get out all that aggression, all that anger. When you mad, what I used to do is I would go, and I had to stop doing this, but I would go eat. Whenever I was mad and I was ready to snap, I would always keep $20 on me so I can go get me something to eat, like some wings or something to make me happy. And that wasn't good because, I mean, it's like a drug. You know, it's not good for you. So try to do something healthy, like, you know, take up boxing or MMA. Go get you a Planet Fitness card or 24-hour fitness or whatever. You know, get you something active, something where you can really get all that out, and you can actually put something, you know, some positive energy into you. For y'all that are holistic, you know, find you something natural and organic to do. You know, maybe you can do like yoga or find you something spiritual. I would say church, but you still have to come home or you still have to be around an area where it may happen again. So find you somewhere. Prayer is good, but also have some type of alternative where you can, you know, find peace, where you can try to cultivate what's going to make you calm down and relax and be at peace in a negative situation. Last thing I'm going to say, my last advice is support each other. You know, if you know somebody's going through something, or you know they're about to snap, don't be that person. Don't be that person to try to be all tough and, oh, you better not, or, you know, oh, you know, not in my house, or this and that. You know, don't be negative. If you know somebody's getting upset, it's not about who's big and bad. It's about, okay, how can I de-escalate the situation because it's not going to end well for either one of us. So, you know, help them. You know, you can either seek professional help. Maybe you need a therapist. You know, hopefully you'll take the advice I'm giving you now because it's free game, it's free advice. But everybody needs support. So don't knock what they use to calm down because that's to help you. So they don't crash out on you. So, you know, just take my advice on that one. It's not unsolicited. Just take my advice on that one.